Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. Today's video, I don't normally like rant or do anything weird on videos like that. I'm not one of those YouTubers that just tries to like present problems or present something just for views, but for this one, it's been really bugging me in the Flesh and Blood community the past couple weeks about the Briar talk and about banning cards and about things being overpowered and things like that. So I just wanted to get on here and kind of give my thoughts on the state of the meta, not necessarily like who's good, who's bad, but just how the game is from my perspective as a player and how I think people overreact so hard on like one particular hero and things of that nature. Really quickly with Briar, I think she just came to the format really late in the game and people didn't have time to tech against her. I don't think Briar's broken. I definitely think Briar's one of the top 3 in the game right now, maybe top 4, but she's definitely not broken to the point where she needs to be a rota needs to happen or something needs to be banned. Like, I don't think so. Again, people talk about Plunder Run, and that's a different conversation. I'm kind of like, I guess 60-40 on the side of not banning Plunder Run. I don't think it's broke enough to do it. But I could see someone trying to ban Plunder Run. Other than that, nothing needs to change with Briar, and I'm going to give my reason why. And if you disagree, it's totally fine. But I'm just talking about not just Briar, but the game in general, where people just aren't willing to adapt to games. They're not willing to adapt to different play styles. They're not willing to adapt and do different things. They just don't want to think ahead is the best way to put it. And with this, I wanted to talk about, we're starting to talk about Briar, right? Like, Briar came on the scene at the end because she was just a new deck that people didn't understand. She's very easy to play. She put out a ton of damage. She blocks extremely efficiently, stuff like that, right? So she did really good against Aggro Katsu. I still think Aggro Katsu can race her, but not quite as good because she can block more effectively. But there are certain iterations of Katsu can do decent. But overall, Briar has the advantage, obviously. Does really well against Prism because she just destroys all her stuff. Does pretty well against Bravo because she can block super efficiently if she's made 3 or 4 embodiment tokens, even 2 or 3. So she did really good against the meta that was there. Like, before Briar came on, it was Bravo, Prism, a little bit of Katsu and Dash, but mainly it's Bravo, Prism. I would say, in Chain before he got nerfed, were kind of the meta decks, and Briar literally countered the meta decks, which made it even worse, right? That's I think that's where people truly overreacted, is that Briar countered what was presented to be good in the format at that time, on top of the fact that she came in super, super late, right? So I think that was just an issue that people hadn't tried to think against, but I've noticed this in the Flesh and Blood community that people just automatically want to say stuff's overpowered. Obviously, Chain was stupid. Chain needed a change, but I think sometimes people just aren't willing to play different decks and really think through different decks. Because you look at Briar, right? Like, she's really good against Katsu, Prism, and Bravo, but she freaking sucks against Ice, Lexi, Oldheim, and even Viserai, combo Viserai. Like, she struggles. Because she can't effectively block, right? Viserai doesn't care if you can block my I don't care if you can block my Amplify the Arknight. I'm still coming at you with 14 rune chance, and you have pretty much a red line deck. You're done. Like, you're dead, right? I'm gonna deal, because with an aggro Viserai build, you can deal 10 plus damage a turn, and it's split damage. So Briar hates that. And then you look at other meta decks like Prism. Prism was doing really well against, like Dash, making the auras and making spectral shields. She's doing really well against, even certain types of Katsus, but struggled a little bit against Bravo. And then you have like Viserai. Viserai is a really big into the meta right now, or starting to get big. Does really well against Briar, does pretty well against Katsu, any red line deck, but struggles a little bit against Bravo and Oldheim, right? There's a counter to most things, right? Like, Ice Lexi does really good against red line decks, but struggles a little bit against people who can tank her out and force her to have to block out on their turn and get cards out of her hand, like a Bravo. So there's definitely, obviously there's decks that are at the top of the game right now, and I'm not going to deny that, but overall there's a counter to most everything in the game. There's nothing in the game right now that is uncounterable. There's really not. Even great cards like play Ice, play Disrupt, make people not be able to play as many cards out of their hand during their turn. a lot of people want to play their own game plan, but they don't want to try to affect the other person's game plan a lot, because and it's because it's easier to think that way, right? It's easier to say like, okay, I'm gonna play aggro, I'm gonna try to push damage, than saying like, okay, what card setup can I do to where I push a decent amount of damage, but also try to get them to get rid of their stuff so they can't be as effective on their turn. You know, it's a harder game plan to do, and I think people just aren't willing to do it. So then they just blame the cards. Talking about cards game ban again, Plunder Run. There's a case for it, but there's also, I don't think it should get banned personally. But there's other cards like, you know, I want to bring up like Prism's auras, right? Like Prism has an instant speed block 3 pretty much, right? Like, yes, she has to pitch for it, but Prismatic Shield can be played at instant speed. Or like the fact that she can play Merciful Retribution, you know, if she has 3 or 4 auras saved up because she blocks you out, you know, she can play Merciful Retribution and all of a sudden start hitting you harder the next turn, or Odorath, I mean. And then, or her shields are about to pop, and all she'll do is pop an aura that makes you lose life every single time. You know, if she has a Merciful Retribution on the field and let's say 3 Spectral Shields, and then she pops an Odorath at instant speed, then she just lets you hit her. She doesn't take hardly any damage because she has 3 Spectral Shields, and you technically take 6 damage, right? It's like there's so much, like, that's broken to me, right? But no one ever talks about it. Then you have cards like Pummel, right? Yes, Pummel costs 2 to play, but Pummel literally gives you a +4 at red, and it makes you discard 2 cards from hand if a certain card was played. So basically, like, let's say Bravo's swinging with Anthos for 6, right? And then he pummels it. He's swinging for 10. So in order to block out the pummel, you basically have to commit all your cards to hand. And then if you say like, screw it, I'll just take the damage and try to hit him harder next turn, it's still going to take 2 cards out of your hand. So like, how is that not being talked about, how that's broken, right? Pummel, yes, you have to pitch for 2, but its effect, like how Plunder Run replaces itself with the draw card mechanic, Pummel like basically does the same thing. It's just, do you want to take damage or not, right? Either it's going to force all their cards out of their hand, or pretty much half their cards out of their hand, or it's going to take 2 cards out of their hand, or a card out of their hand, right? So like, it's just dumb, right? It's a dumb card. But no, I don't really care. It's a great card, but it's just, there's other cards in the game that are good. People just don't want to talk about it. You know, with the warrior attack reaction mechanic, how warriors can literally like preemptively boost their next attack by 3 and give it go again, and then hit it again for 4 or 5, right? And on top of that, they have 6 or 7 block in their equipment stack. Like, there's so much like really powerful mechanics to the game. People just don't want to play it, right? I could go on and on. Lexi has the Death Dealer combo where she can, with Snapshot, where she can just literally draw 15 cards a turn if she hits her cards right, with 3 of kind, stuff like that. Like, there's so many broken mechanics, but people aren't willing to adjust or change their game plan. I wanted to come on here and just talk about, one, because it's just fun to talk about this stuff, but 2, like, community needs to get better at understanding like the actual state of the game, and not like just take things for face value, or not want to adapt, or not want to do this, that, or the other. I feel like I've been playing this game now long enough to where I can have that strong opinion. I've always tried to stay really like, you know, quiet and humble about it, but I've been playing the game long enough to where it's really starting to just irk me when people talk about that. There's so many different things you could do in this game. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. I'm not trying to like be too controversial. I'm just trying to get my thoughts and you know, generate some discussion in our community and have some good quality discussion. Yeah, let me know what you think, good or bad. If you think I'm totally wrong and tell me to shut up, that's totally fine. If you completely agree with me, that's great too. I love the feedback no matter what. I love when you guys give your opinions, especially Flesh with Blood players are really strong with it. Yeah, if you like this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you don't want to do it on mine, go to another Flesh and Blood creator, leave a like, comment, subscribe on their video as well. We are at like 225 subs, which is insane. I can't believe that we've actually gotten that far. I've really just been making these videos for fun, so the fact that people are enjoying them is crazy to me. I'm not struggling on what content to make. It's just we're kind of in a lull in Flesh and Blood right now, so I'm thinking of new ideas, and I have a couple in the shoot that I'm going to make. You know, once the new set comes out, we'll really be able to hit hard and go over new cards and new decks and new everything. So I'm really excited for Everfest. That's a little ways off still. Got another solid 2 months for that comes out, but it'll be fun no matter what. yeah, hope you all have a great rest of your week. Stay safe. I hope you all have a great holiday season, and I'll see you all next time on TCG Talk. Thank you all so much.